I'm gonna mess you guys up this morning. Generational curse breakers in your birth chart. Do you have them? Do you not have them? You might not know. Well, I'm gonna let you know. I got a lot of them. 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 And I'm not just talking about like one aspect in my birth chart that's a generational curse breaker. I probably have about 10 of them. So, as you would know, I'm into this whole, generational trauma, therapy, CPSD, ADHD, autism, you name it. There's a lot I could talk about. But I just want you to know that if you're part of that group of people that is working very heavily on generational issues and ancestral issues, it's a hard life to walk. It can be very isolating. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details, but all I'm going to say is you might have a tendency to make people very uncomfortable, only because when you do shadow work and you go within your own shadow and you go look at what's kind of hiding from you and what's kind of scary and what's kind of ugly, and you shed some light on it, well, it's not really that scary anymore, because now that you know, right? But what that has as a side effect is that you no longer are scared of talking about difficult topics, because you won't even notice that they're difficult anymore. And what that does is, if you're talking with other people, whether it be family members, friends, or whatever, co-workers even, what that is going to do is that you might make people uncomfortable by going into these subjects without really realizing you're going into them. And it might make people very uncomfortable. And most people won't say it because most people, they wear masks, and that's okay. That's normal. We all do it. But the thing is that the more you look at your own self and you have a lot of self-awareness, you might not notice that it might make people uncomfortable. So you got to be wary of that, and to understand that most people are not going to open up Pandora's box and open up that can of worms, because if you do start to go down that path in life, you can't close the door. You're in it for life. So, that being said, it makes it a little bit difficult after that to be around other people with respecting those barriers, and always like being aware that if you're talking, you have to keep things at a certain level and wait for people to be comfortable and stuff like that. So, it can be a very isolating situation, and you can't really go back on that. And sadly, a side effect of that is that you might get outcasted. You might get outcasted by your family. You might get outcasted by your friends. You might get outcasted by coworkers. You might get outcasted. And it's okay. It's not anyone's fault. It's life. It's the way things are, and it's the way things are going. Because most people are just, they're not going to go down that road. And that's okay too, because it's a hard road to go down. And I'm just letting people know that if they're going to open up that can of worms, be ready to walk that life. Because, yeah, you're doing a service to yourself and to your kids or future kids. But it is very, it's not an easy one, So, there's that. Just sharing that with y'all this morning, because I didn't realize how much me just being open about shit would make people uncomfortable. And I didn't realize, to me, going down these roads and facing my own self and my own shadows and my own darkness, I didn't realize that it was gonna, I didn't know that I was gonna get the effect from the outside that I was gonna get. So I'm not doing that for pity, for victimization, for anything. It's just, there's no one that's higher or lower. We're just all on the same playing field at different spots at different times. That's all this really is. So, you know, be courageous if you're going down the generational trauma, ancestral lineage road, because it's a can of worms you're not going to be able to close. And it has many benefits, but it's like, I'm not sure there's an end to it. That's all I'm saying. So be courageous, be strong, and, you know, just know that you're not alone.